XRP is worth $2.13 right now, but that will all change in less than 6 days. June 27th is a big day for XRP. Its price could go from $2.13 to over $11,898.00. This is because over $654 trillion, 0 cents, will be added to the XRP ledger, making it the fast dollar for deals. Also, one of the biggest burns is going to happen on the XRP ledger on June 27th at exactly 11:59 p.m. This will cause a supply shock for XRP because of the huge burn and the huge influx of money, which will be over $654 trillion, 0 cents. The price of XRP will also go through the roof, possibly reaching as high as $11,898, 0 cents. You might think I'm crazy now. We're going to talk about two specific things in this movie. First, the price of XRP. The second question is how much XRP you should have by June 27, 11:59 p.m., which is the exact time this event will happen. All of this is connected to a bigger picture. Arthur Brito, co-founder of Ripple and XRP, saw this coming. He imagined XRP being used on a world scale, which is again making over 650 trillion possible. Being hit by that huge supply shock and that huge burn again, he thought that XRP would be worth more than $10,000, 0 cents per XRP in these situations. We're also seeing more than one. I say more than one because I'm going to show you. A lot of institutions, including the managing director of the Capital, think that XRP could be worth between $10,000, 0 cents, and $35,000, 0 cents per XRP after it is regulated and named the world's bridge currency. Right now, we can see everything happening. CBDCs, or central bank digital currencies, are launching on the XRP ledger. And the global central bank has officially said that they want to use XRP to move payments across borders. One of the most recent ones is the United States Central Bank, which includes the Federal Reserve, the Treasury, and the U.S. Central Bank. They want to use XRP to make it easier to pay off all of the U.S.'s debt around the world, and they're also starting a crypto strategic reserve that will be made up of mostly American cryptocurrencies, including XRP, since it is the biggest American-based currency ever. We're going to talk about this again on June 27th, when a lot of things are going to happen. We talked about 650 trillion and the biggest burn. And in case you didn't already know, all of this is made possible by a huge institution that announced a couple of weeks ago that it would launch on the XRP ledger and then plan to tokenize and trade over $654 trillion, $390 billion, 0 cents on the XRP ledger using their own token, the real token. We can say that this is a huge step forward in every way. The XRP ledger will handle $650 trillion, 0 cents, through the real token, and they've said that something huge will happen on June 27th. This is the real token that will be burned. It will make up to 80% of the total phase 1 stock, which will be used to send over 650 trillion Bitcoin. This means that on that date, there will be a supply shock for the XRP currency. This is because trillions of dollars will be added to the ledger, and there will also be a huge burn because think about it this way, 80% of the real token stock is about to be burned. At the same time, the real token was going to buy $653, 0 cents and distribute it to the receiver because there weren't many of them. As a result, the price of the real token will skyrocket because so many people want to buy it. For a real coin that costs 2 cents, it could hit tens, hundreds, or even millions of dollars. Once more, these are not my words. Check out Grok AI. Everyone knows about Grok ChatGPT, and we need to do some easy math. We have a real token, phase 1 supply of 100 million. The market cap is increased by 654.39 trillion won, which is equal to $6.5 million per real token. This is all recorded in the XRP ledger, and I'll soon explain how this will directly affect the price of XRP. For now, let's say that only 2% of the 654.39 trillion won is added to the market cap. Check out the price. If it's only 2%, each real ticket will cost $130,000, 0 cents. At that rate, this is what we're getting at. That's why I'm getting ready to leave, guys. Of course I'm going to buy this. I have to tell you, to be honest here, I'm trying to get as many real tickets as I can. I mean, this project is still very new. Real estate is now officially being tokenized. They are going to put in 654 trillion. There will be a huge burn, which means that there will almost certainly be a supply shock. As the date of the big burn approaches, the price of XRP will skyrocket, but the real token will rise even more dramatically. Real token prices are going to go through the roof in the next few days. Things will get even crazier and more expensive as June 27th approaches. The crazy thing is that the RealFi ecosystem and the RealFi team, who are native to the real tokens, a real token is native to the ReFi team, have announced that the Phase 1 burden schedule for June 27th at exactly 59:59 EST. This event may cause a supply shock for both real tokens and XRP. But why is that? Well, think about it. To buy real tokens, to transact, you have to buy XRP. This means that a real currency worth $650 trillion will be made. This means that everything will have to go through XRP, which will make XRP very popular. I mean, a huge amount of desire. The burning of XRP will also happen in a big way because of real burning. Why does that happen? Because every time you use the XRP record to make a transaction, even a burn transaction, you are actually burning XRP in gas fees. So real token is about to go through a massive burn. Because they are doing a massive burn, they will have to pay a massive amount of gas fees, which will again decrease the supply of XRP, which will, either way, real token and XRP are both going to skyrocket, and real token is going to hit $130,000, 0 cents, while XRP may reach $11,898, 0 cents. This is all going to happen from its current price of 2 cents. Guys, I know it sounds crazy, but Bitcoin was worth less than a penny just a few years ago, and now it's worth over 130,000 times that. It has a lot more coins in circulation than the real token does in Phase 1. That way we can see those numbers. 130,000 isn't as crazy as you might think, especially for a utility-based project that is tokenizing $650 trillion, making $650 trillion possible, and building on the recipient ledger, the most cost-of-food efficient and payment infrastructure. They also seem to be growing, which means these guys have a lot to do with Ripple. This group has met with Ripple. For a project, it doesn't get any better than this, that is based on utility and has real promise. Even for support, take a look. There are some very strong levels of support and very low levels of resistance. This thing will not only make you generational wealth, $1,000 could turn into millions of dollars, but imagine how the price will skyrocket because of $2,000, $3,000, or $4,000. It's still very early, guys. If you look at these resistance levels, you'd need about $50,000 to literally skyrocket the price of the real token from 2 cents to tens of dollars. This is where we are now, and what could happen. Just think, the flow of cash, 600